Okay, we're going to be talking about distraction. And, you know, the first thing when I was channeling guidance about distraction is it wasn't coming about distraction per se, it was coming in about detachment. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So when we talk about distraction and moving in this direction, now a lot of us, we might focus on entertainment, such as movies, TV shows, sports entertainment, social media, etc. I mean, you're on TikTok, next thing you know, 3, 4 hours goes by and you distracted yourself really good. And sometimes, a lot of us may need that. There are moments where we do need to distract oneself, right? Now, detachment, when life becomes hard or difficult, okay, so when things just get really hard or difficult, stress can make a person want to detach, which then can lead to distraction, right? So, ways of detaching is distracting oneself. And the key is to prioritize when to place one's attention on things that matter in the moment, and then distracting oneself also may be important for a time. So it's interesting how the angels, when I'm being guided to talk about this, they're not saying no, don't stop yourself. I mean, if we look at the Barbie movie that's out recently, people really want to be distracted right now, right? But distraction can also lead to focusing on things that make you laugh and that are uplifting and take your mind off things for a time and help you decompress and help you move into a happier state of mind. So that detachment and distraction can actually work in your favor. But the key is, again, we'll just read this one more time, is to prioritize when to place one's attention on things that matter in the moment, okay? But then what? What direction do you want to go in your life, okay? So if I am distracting myself a lot for months on end, and then I'm wondering, why don't I have as much money in the bank account? Or why haven't I achieved any of the goals that I set for myself? Or why is it that I am not doing something that I love or that I enjoy? And so if we have too much distraction, I think it can move us in a direction of stagnancy, right? Being uncertain, being ungrounded. And maybe just going about our lives getting the bare minimum done, but not really kind of moving forward in life. And that stagnancy, we don't want to be there for too long because that can really drop our own energy. And we might feel like depressed, ungrounded, unhappy, right? And we don't want to hang out there for too long. I've milked it for years on end. I would say the longest I've ever milked a distraction and detachment phase would be a year and a half. And what did I use to distract? Alcohol and TV shows and just doing the bare minimum with work, but not really getting anywhere or doing anything much. I think part of that also in the moment felt like trapped in the work that I was doing back then, years ago, and that I knew that I was here for so much more than that. I knew I was here to do so much more than that. So for me, it just felt like it was okay for me to detach completely for that length of time because I couldn't find my way out of where I was, essentially. I suppose we could say that. And it's really important to not stick or stay in that frequency for lengthy periods of time, unless, of course, you're okay with being there for lengthy periods of time. and we're okay with depression, stagnancy, maybe being ungrounded. But if we want something better for ourselves and we want a way out, then what? Where are we going to go? And they're talking about we may have short periods or glimpses of moments where we want something better for ourselves. If overall you're happy being distracted and detaching at times from what is, then that's how it will be. But the angels are looking at the glimpses, the windows, the openings of opportunity to get through to us, to help us move in a different direction that overall will bring us much joy and happiness. Okay. And am I going to go from totally bummed out and depressed in life to blissed out of my mind? Well, no. The only time that ever happened to me is when my guardian angel opened up in front of me and then slowly moved through my body and then out the back of me, and then I was blissed out of my mind. That wasn't normal. That wasn't like natural, okay? So I knew I had a real strong visit. And she just blissed me right out. She also wanted me to know how much she loved me. And she was also trying to distract me from the utter depression and crying I was going through at the moment. So thank goodness for that. But that's not necessarily going to happen for everybody, nor do I think it maybe should happen for everybody, because it was a bit of a shocker. So how do we start to move in a better feeling direction and take those moments, those openings, those windows, those opportunities to make them count, essentially, and get moving in a direction that makes us feel better in life? But the first step would be to have a look at what you're putting into your body. What are you fueling your body with? Okay, so that'll be the first step. High vibrational foods help to lift and raise our vibrational frequency. Number 2, what things are you drinking? What are you sucking back? Okay, so I was not guided to do what I'm doing right now with channeling until I became sober. Okay, it's not that I can't channel while I'm drinking, but the amount that I was drinking was hindering me. So now being clean and sober is important. And so that's the direction that I've moved in order to create more balance, right? And to be in a higher vibrational state in order to connect with spirit. Okay, so we're looking at spring water, not tap water. And we're looking at, things that are high in sugar content. They're not good for gut health. They're not good for the body long term. If it's something that we're introducing into the body and it's momentary or temporary, okay, so it's a one-off, it's a nice treat. That's how I grew up. When I grew up, we had those things as like a treat. Now people are pounding back 2 liters like it's nothing and enjoying it daily from morning till night. Okay, getting proper rest and sleep, whether we need, maybe if we're not getting enough sleep at night, maybe we have a nap during the day. Meditation is also really wonderful for creating balance. Okay, and streaming in high vibrational frequency, because now we're relaxed and we're open to receiving high vibrational frequency. And overall, shifting our thought forms to move in a more, or to move in a higher vibrational direction. So even if you're saying things, but you don't believe a word of them and it feels very flat or stagnant to you, do it anyways. So you might be like, saying an abundance affirmation or a self-love affirmation, or saying something positive about yourself instead of degrading or shitting on yourself repeatedly, then you're going to say it. You might not feel it at first, okay? But they want you to do it anyways. Okay. And they don't want, they're using words that I use. So they don't want us to poo-poo or degrade or look down upon others. Let them do them. If you don't agree with what they're doing, or you don't like what they're doing, I mean, in the scope of obviously not harming other people, if they are simply in a rut or stagnant or sitting in a frequency that you don't like, whether that's more high vibrational than you or lower vibrational than you, so be it. Allow others to be as, okay? And you don't always have to put your input or your voice or your opinion out there, okay? And in fact, they would prefer that unless it's going to be complimentary, positive, or helpful, don't put it out there. Especially right now with what is taking place on Earth. We need as much high vibrational language and energy put out there as possible. Okay. All right. And if you continue moving in the direction that is dropping your frequency, not good for you, and you wish for our guidance and our help, then so be it. We will step forward and start to assist and help you. Okay. But they're also saying that if you ask for this and you think you're going to carry on doing the same thing that you've been doing, think again, because it won't be that easy to carry on the way that you have been. It's one thing to not take good care of yourself, or not believe in yourself, or not have good self-talk. But when you spew off low vibrational language and words to others, they are not accepting or tolerating of that. And they're talking about when we do this, we are usurping another's free will, and it may be harmful and create a harmful impact to them. And that is when the angels will interject on both ends. The person receiving the words, whether typed or written or said, by helping them see through the words, and also with the person spewing off the language and the words, letting them know that that is not accepted and or tolerated. All right, that's quite a lot, isn't it? Okay, so they've shown the steps on how to shift and help us become more grounded, become more present. If we want more for our lives, then we need to see these openings and these opportunities where maybe we feel more motivated, or we're open to hearing and or from spirit or from other people. And sometimes spirit operates through other people to give them ideas or insights to give to you. My Aunt Lori is an amazing channeler. She doesn't know it, but she channels claircognizantly like you wouldn't believe. And she's Italian. She's not even my blood related aunt, okay, but she's with my uncle. And the stuff that she would channel, the ideas and the words that would come out of that woman, I would just sit there like, another brilliant thing coming through this woman that would just come to her claircognizantly, clear knowingly, And then she would say it to me, and what did I do? I acted upon it. Whew. I was like, okay, this is very highlighted. It feels really good. I'm going for it. And even if it was kind of difficult for me to act on it, I would still just make my way and act on it. And always worked out. Always was a brilliant idea. And I still am thankful to this day. I'm telling you, she was amazing, Chandler. We're channeling all the time. We're just doing it more unconsciously. So what I do here is I'm consciously channeling. And any one of us can do this. We are all mediums. Okay. Okay, they're willing to take any questions you have in regards to this topic. So anybody have any questions in regards to feeling like they are having a little bit too much distraction and or detachment, or how they would best get back up on their feet? You know, I'm going to use me as an example here because it's the easiest way for me to come across. Is I used to distract myself a lot. The weekends were for boozing it up on the couch, maybe watching some movies, usually by myself, sometimes with friends. But it was always about detaching, working hard through the week, and then detaching, and distracting myself with alcohol and movies. And I would always sit there and wonder, why don't I have more money in the bank? Why don't I have this path opened up to me yet that I know is coming? And I know I'm meant for much more than just this, boozing it up on the weekends. Would I call myself a binge drinker? Yeah, absolutely. That's most definitely what I would call myself. And I would always wonder, like, I would see other people like living their best life, happier, doing more, just more open, more excited for life, and that's when I felt like I needed some help to kind of get off the sauce. So I asked for that help and it came in, and then I moved in that direction. Excessive like drinking of Coca-Cola and like, any sugar, lots of sugary drinks. So all of that stopped pretty quickly and wasn't easy in the beginning, right? But if you look at the amount of energy I had, and now I started moving in a higher vibrational direction, and I felt really good, and I wasn't distracting myself all the time. Now what was I faced with? Oh, my own thoughts and what direction that I wanted to go in life. And then ultimately this path opened up to me, which came really barreling on the heels of becoming sober. They wanted me out the gate like toot sweet. And I was like, can you give me 3 months? And then off on that path, you really could see doors opening and feeling like I felt really rewarded with the path that I was doing and the work I was doing, and the amount of money was coming in was way more than I had ever experienced. And people just, you could just see people shedding layers and becoming much happier, and how rewarding that was for me. And I could see that I took the opportunity to move in the direction that I was guided, and I decided to stop distracting myself as much as I once was. Do I go to the movies as often now? No, I don't actually enjoy it. Do I have cable television? No. Do I read the newspaper? No. And when I pick up my phone and I just look at what's happening in the news, just Googling it and just seeing. I don't even have an app to see what the news is. The first thing I'll get from my guardian angel is to move me in a different direction, because she wants to keep my frequency higher. Okay. So in order to help others, which is greatly rewarding, and if we want to shift and move in a direction, just going out and helping others in the simplest of acts is so amazing energetically. You don't have to go and do it in grandiose things. You don't have to go start a YouTube channel and step off out the gate and do big things, or what would deemed as being bigger. But even just the simplest of things really helps to shift your own energy. It helps them, it helps you. It moves everyone in a better direction. Okay. So when you're ready and you have those openings, those moments, take action and don't delay. And then if you tune in with the energy and it feels more like heavy in your chair, or like, okay, maybe it's best that I don't take action right yet, but it's coming. Okay, so that would be divine timing. Okay, so Madonna, you're looking into fashion and shopping designer clothes considered a distraction? Your angels are saying yes. They're talking about many out there shop spending a lot less, having a lot less, and are very happy. And there are individuals in what we would call third world countries that have a lot less than us that are far happier than us. Okay. If you want to have assistance in taking the funds that would normally be spent in this direction and using it to help others with, or reallocate into areas of your life that would be better served, they're more than happy to help you do that. Okay, great point. You know, a lot of people like to go shopping for, you know, certain clothing or jewelry or makeup or perfume, or right. And when you look on social media, well, that's what everybody shows you makes you happy. So that must make me happy. So I'm going to go do that because that's what's going to make me happy, right? Yeah, that's good. I felt like it was strongly coming to the forefront. And when things are tough worldwide, okay, things are hard, people are all about distraction. You bet. If you look at the summer months, it's all about distraction. It's about having fun. It's about drinking. It's about just detaching from your day-to-day. But what if, instead of wanting to distract and detach yourself from your day-to-day life, what if you take that energy that you use for the distraction and you put it towards creating a life where you're just content and happy all the time, or most of the time? And we see, you know, at least I have seen some people in my life that are like this. I would actually say that I'm mostly like this. Am I 100%? No. But what do I have now that I didn't have before? I have time freedom. I have financial freedom. I can go traveling when I want, work when I want. I can take days off when I want. If I want to take a week off, I take a week off. If I need to go somewhere and do something, I can. I feel very free. And that was my main goal when getting really clear and sidestepping distraction as to what direction I wanted to move in. And I remember making it very clear to my team that I want time freedom and I want financial freedom. So what am I going to do about it? So the first thing that I was guided to, actually many years ago, even before I became clear about what I wanted, was the Abundance book by John Price. And so you just work from that, because you need to change your thought patterns about how you process or absorb. You know, when you look at how society operates, it doesn't take much to see that it's not functioning well. Okay, we're the only animals on planet Earth that are fixated on money and having enough and this and that. And we get so wrapped up in a social credit score and all the rest of this jargon. If you can sidestep yourself long enough to move in a different direction where happiness, fulfillment, helping others is really wonderful. I can speak on behalf of that. Connecting to something more meaningful and deeper than the superficiality and material things, it is a wonderful place to be. Because we're so used to being locked in a hamster wheel of the old tape pattern of thought that we need something that we're going to focus on for 40 days, nonstop without breaking, to change this. And then when we're ready, we can do it again. And if we need to do it again, we do it again. Can you imagine if we were taught something completely different when we grew up in our educational system and from our parents? But no, work hard, go to school. Now going to school doesn't even make sense because you're going to be in so much debt that by the time you come out, are you even going to be able to pay it off? And then you have all the other things. So what's happening in the world is a pressure cooker right now. And it's making people see things, well, it's having a lot of people flail and get upset and a lot of upheaval, but it's also making people really hone in and think about what's important to them and getting around things that are no longer serving them or working for them, because the powers that be have essentially taken away or shifted, changed the ways in which we are living. Your mortgage payments, your rental payments, the cost of groceries, the cost of living, okay? All that is just drastically changing. And I just hear from the angels it's going to get worse before it gets better. Okay? So the only one that can really change is us. So what am I going to do differently? The most important thing to do is to feel what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you before you take action steps, before you move in certain directions. If you get a sinking feeling, if it feels tight, if you feel nauseous, don't move in this direction. If it feels open and light and your chakras are open and there's a lot of energy pooling through your body, move in this direction. Out of the head, into the heart, or the feeling of it feeling good or not. This is the way in which your higher self, your soul, will help steer the ship, help guide you in life. And so shall we also do this through your vessel. Thank you, dear ones. That's all.